Hi, I'm Janelle Schaefer, and I'm with Sheep Hill Herbs, or Sheep Hill Herbs is my business. If you are watching this video, I have messaged you either from Instagram as at Sheep Hill Herbs, or I have messaged you or emailed you from my website, which is sheephillherbs.com, or you may have found me on YouTube, which is Sheep Hill Herbs again. And Sheep Hill Herbs is the name I came up for my company 9 years ago. And I grew up on a road called Sheep Hill. And I've been an herbalist for 20 years, and I love plants, I love herbs, and I am totally devoted to natural healing for myself, my family, and my community. So I'm also an artist. I went to school to be an anthropologist, actually. And partway through, I added on art education. So when I finished up with my degrees, I had a degree or a license as an art educator and a bachelor's degree in anthropology. And I definitely contemplated, in fact, I visited colleges. I wanted to go back to school to be, to get my doctorate in food and culture as far as anthropology is concerned. But I didn't wind up going that route after all. And now I kind of see myself as like an anthropologist in the way I approach study and research and looking at culture and looking at these different aspects that I was interested in pursuing as an anthropologist, but now I'm pursuing as a writer, as an herbalist, as an artist, as someone in the community, and then the greater world at large. So I have 3 self-published books. This is The Story of the Gluten-Free Kid. I have a Mommy and Me art journaling activity book, and this book is based upon my art journals and the work I have done as an artist. And I have a third one that is on Amazon, but I honestly have not received it in the mail yet. And that is All You Need to Know About Making Herbal Tea. I consider that one a booklet rather than a full-fledged book. It's 35 pages, but gives you a breakdown of how to make herbal teas, not with a tea bag, but with fresh or dried herbs. So in this particular video, I am going to talk in more depth about the story of the gluten-free kid. I'm going to actually read the story for you because I have contacted many people. I want to get this story out. Along my health journey as an herbalist, I have had to study nutrition. In fact, I'm certified as a nutritional herbalist. So nutrition and food is a huge part of what I do with herbs. And there's not a single person that I talk to that I'm not helping them with their diet and nutrition. So I have found, and I think it was about 5 years ago now, that gluten is I'm extremely intolerant. And I have honestly not gotten a diagnosis because I don't even go to regular doctors. I go to natural doctors, and we do atypical means. I do nutrition response with a chiropractor, and through discovery of different testing modalities, different ones, found that I'm very sensitive to gluten and dairy. So we cut out dairy, we cut out gluten from my diet, and the world changed for me. Everything changed by cutting out those 2 food groups. And I also found that my children, all 4 of my boys and my daughter, are sensitive to gluten in a lesser degree than I am, but still intolerant of it, where it's not a food that is going to be like in harmony with our body. It is going to cause a different manifestation in each of us. Me, the most extreme, and then my kids in lesser degrees, but still not something you don't want to have stress on your body by the food you eat. So we became gluten-free, and it has been a trial and a journey. It was really hard for me at first. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I was pretty much ready to be better, that it was not as hard. Cooking was the hard part. Learning to cook different and feed my kids differently was really hard. And I run across this with a lot of parents. The children part is really difficult because all the kids' foods are crackers and cereal and pizza and, peanut butter and jelly and cookies and all of these wheat-based foods that are super easy, super fast, easy to pack in lunches, easy to make, but not good for us. So I really had to like search and find, and I really was interested in Paleo Diet. I pretty much adopted the Paleo Diet for myself, and vegetarian dishes and vegetarian meals, and learning to use different grain powders. Well, I shouldn't say grain, seeds for powder to make like a bread-like product. Coconut flour and almond flour, and I grind up sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and I use buckwheat, and I use sometimes quinoa, sometimes some rice, but I still find that even rice bothers me. So anyway, I'm giving you a long introduction about myself before I go into the story of this book, because I want you to know that I actually have experience with this, and this is part of my life. This isn't just something I just like, oh, this is a hot topic, I'm going to write about it. So my kids, the oldest is now 13, so he was about 7, 8 when we started this, and he had the most difficult time giving up wheat, because he had wheat 7 or 8 years, where I had, I think, a 3-year-old, and so he like doesn't even notice because he was so young. But the older child had a hard time, and I think now he's definitely fine. But I had to come up with, like, they like spaghetti. They want spaghetti. So we had to have different types of spaghetti. And we've had zucchini noodles and butternut squash noodles and buckwheat noodles. And we've tried all different types. And we do like the buckwheat noodles, or not buckwheat, cassava flour. I'm sorry. Cassava flour, I think, is our favorite. I have found some cauliflower noodles that are really good too, and they like that. And I make cauliflower rice, and so we do a lot of the favorite foods in a different way. The other thing that was super difficult was going to like functions, family events, holidays, school functions. And my kids are homeschooled, but they were in public school for 1 year, and that was really hard. Last year with COVID, we didn't have that difficulty added to everything else. But when we do go to things, or even if we were just going to like special events or just sporting events, and you go to the hot dog stand or the food stand, and all they have is wheat. So I had to come up with alternatives. We pack food. They each have their lunch bags. They have backpacks. We went to a pizza party for school, for soccer, and I made our pizza, which I share in the back of this book. And we brought it along. And my kids went to a birthday party, and they did have pizza, regular pizza. I just said, you know what? We didn't have a chance. We didn't bring it. I let them have it. And they told me they liked the gluten-free, what we make, better than regular pizza. So I thought that was a big win. So pretty much this story does kind of like introduce the family. It's a goat family. I wanted it to be goats because my kids, well, because I always say kids. So gluten-free kid, oh, goats would be cute. I like animal stories, like instead of children's stories with people. And I think I might be rambling a little bit too much and too long, but this is a story about goat family. I initially illustrated almost all the pictures, and then I thought, you know what? I really want to have my children involved in this. I teach them art. They're very good artists. They sell some of their art cards on eBay. And I thought they're going to start helping, and they're going to illustrate. So some of the pictures are mine, and some of them, a lot of them are my children's art. So I want to read this story. I want to share it with you. The cover is different on Amazon. I have taken this image, which is my watercolor painting. It extends to the back. And I have shrunk down to about half the size, so it's more clear, and then the title is seen better. It has like a pink background, and then the words you can see because they're black. So this is my sample copy that I edited, and I just changed the cover a little bit, and I think it's a better cover. So I want to read this story. I want to show you what I wrote, so that if you are sharing this with your audience, that you can give a good idea and a good feel for my book. It is available on Amazon. If you really want to copy, I'm really hoping that this video will suffice and be good for you. And I also will be sharing a link to a blog post that describes the book, so that you have that to share as well. The Story of the Gluten-Free Kid by Janelle Schaefer, illustrated by Janelle, Abram, Caleb Reese, and Jace Schaefer. Here is my message from the author, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to read just a part of it. And it's right here. It says, I wrote this book with the intention of providing some sort of camaraderie or understanding for children who eat gluten-free diets. My own children have struggled attending functions, holidays, or special events, actually nearly every outing, because of the preponderance of wheat foods offered in public settings. We have had to figure out what to do and what to make to replicate many of our favorite gluten-based meals. So here are some images. The top one is my watercolor. And my first imagination of these characters. This is one of my son's pictures in colored pencil. And the book, and it starts by saying, the Bean family lives in a cottage in a glen beneath the great Appalachian Mountains. Caliber is the oldest Bean brother. Again, let me show you some of the images. He is a gluten-free kid. He and all his brothers and sisters are too. Besides Caliber bean, they are clover bean, pomegranate bean, mullein bean, and little yarrow bean. Every day they eat healthy meals that Mama Bean prepares. All the Bean kids eat gluten-free, so Mama Bean does not buy grains like gluten like wheat, oats, and rye. She does buy rice, buckwheat, and chia seeds, many different types of nuts, and heaps of veggies. At market, she searches for the freshest ingredients. Some of the kids' favorites are apples, kale, lettuces, artichokes, and carrots. That's another one of my watercolors. This is one of my children's drawings. There's Mama Bean. It was not always this way for the Bean kids. Mama Bean had been noticing something was wrong with Caliber when he would eat pizza. His nose would become red and stuffy, and his food tasted delicious with the soft, fluffy bread and gooey cheese, but left him feeling awful. At lunchtime, if the kids had peanut butter and jelly on toast, Caliber would become all itchy and scratchy. Mama Bean believed something must be done. A little goat should not act this way after eating his food, thought Mama Bean to herself. Oops. Here we go, another picture. Kids are eating some bread, and Caliber is putting his hand on his head. So one day the family paid a visit to the natural doctor. His name was Dr. Goldenseal. The kids climbed into Mama's breezy convertible, chattering all the way to his office. Dr. Goldenseal was a chiropractor and nutritionist. So Goldenseal is an herb, golden seal root, and that was the name I gave to the doctor, and my kids thought he should be a seal because of that. So he looked at the cause and roots of health issues so he could assist the body to heal and overcome with natural remedies like herbs and whole foods. Again, this is one of my watercolors of an herb garden, and here's one of my children's stories or pictures where Mama Bean is back there and the kids are being checked by Dr. Goldenseal. Dr. Goldenseal saw each of the kids testing their responses and checking their health. He was a friendly and funny seal. He laughed with the Bean family and made comical faces with each of them. This put the children at ease, which pleased Mama Goat exceedingly. When the children were finished talking to Dr. Goldenseal, he had a conversation with Mama. He helped her understand that when her little goats ate certain grains, their bodies did not process the gluten. All kinds of alarm signals would turn on in their blood, making Caliber Bean itchy or mullein bean moody. Now, I am going to just pause. So I have just skipped ahead in the story. I'm not going to read the entire story, but at the end I share our gluten-free pizza. This is hard to do one-handed. I'm sharing our gluten-free pizza I think this is a lovely picture my son Caleb did. And I give all of the instructions and how to do it. And here is my little synopsis of myself and my other book, the Mommy and Me Art Journaling book. So I hope you got, actually, let me just do the back cover. And I'm going to pause. So I hope you were able to get a very good idea about my book from this little video. And I didn't read the entire thing. I'm sorry. I just can't give away the whole secret without with doing it in video form. And it would make this video a lot longer. I'm hoping that this video will suffice and be enough information for people. And like I said, I also have a blog post. So I really thank you for taking the time to listen to this pitch, this little commercial about my book. And if you have any questions, if you want to share this or collaborate in any way, please send me back a message, however you met me, either email or on Instagram or even on not Facebook, on YouTube, and we can talk further. So thanks and have a really great day.